Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest two-way propaganda brought to you by Daniel Defense and Spartan Armor Systems. Buckle in and get ready for a 45-minute recap of SHOT Show, am I right? No, let it die, folks. We published 76 videos altogether, and of course, we will link down there in the doobly-doo for the playlist, so if you're interested in anything specific from SHOT, there's a real good chance we covered it, but I am so over it, and there's been a lot going on in the news while we were focused on industry stuff. I'm sure you folks have all heard about the new ATF rule, which dropped the Friday before SHOT. It's literally hundreds of pages long and gives many vague examples of what gives the feds ooky feelings, but not one objective example of something they consider is permissible. It indicates it may be impossible for an imported gun to have a brace and comply with 922R, which means a whole lot of people would have no clue because they didn't even know their Scorpion or Strybog was imported, let alone ever heard of 922R. Bottom line stays the same. F-Troop doesn't have a leg to stand on in court. The recent Fifth Circuit ruling on Bumpy Boys gutted their authority to interpret statute, and their footing for braces is even more perilous. Not to mention, if they ever brought a case to trial, the entire NFA could be jeopardized. I'm not a lawyer, because my parents were married, so this does not constitute legal advice, but I don't think individuals have a whole lot to worry about. This rule is solely intended as a last gasp to intimidate businesses. And while we're on the subject of intimidating businesses, yeah, they updated their FAQ on their website to indicate you're not allowed to loan someone an NFA device anymore. Now, of course, nobody can walk off with your silencer or machine gun. Everybody knows that, but up until now, it was commonly held that I could stand there right next to you and allow you to shoot my SBR or machine gun or whatever so long as I was still in control of it. Again, this is intended to shut down machine gun rentals at places like Battlefield Las Vegas and Shooters World right here in Phoenix. So apparently, last Saturday night, St. Louis cops were investigating some car break-ins when a white Honda pulled a drive-by on three Utes who were just happening to be near the police. The Honda got away, and the teens tried to run off, but they got caught. Cops found a stolen Glock 19 on the 16-year-old and a G29 with an Auto-Sear on the 15-year-old. Based. Folks, let me state for the record that's going to be a subcompact polymer frame pistol chambered in the centimeter. 10mm is roughly equivalent to 357 mag. So we're talking some pretty substantial recoil. Full auto pistols in 9mm without a stock or brace are hard enough to control. I'd probably head canoe myself. All I'm saying is I have no desire whatsoever to shoot a full auto handgun in 10mm, and I hope I'm never around to see it either, but please take video. So regardless of how based or foolhardy you think it was for him to rock the full auto Glock in 10mm, the really crazy part is the cops just released him back to his parents. Now, I'm not saying the kid who was the target of a drive-by while also carrying an illegal machine gun in the vicinity of a vehicle break-in was definitely the perpetrator, but I do want to know why he was there, and the juvenile court system advised the police to just go ahead and release him, which is notwithstanding their own worksheet. They have this whole scoring sheet that tells them, when individuals should be referred to the court system, and according to their worksheet, he should have been detained. Newsweek is just catching up to the fact that gun control disproportionately harms minorities. I heard they also just updated all the Pentium-powered Gateway PCs in their newsroom to Windows Vista and IE10. Yes, of course, laws which were originally written by literal Klansmen in order to deprive black people of their most fundamental rights are still having a disproportionate impact on minorities. I heard they plan to run an in-depth look at poll taxes next week. Weapon control has always been designed to keep the lower classes in their place since long before gunpowder was even invented. I have beaten the link between gun control and racism far beyond dead on this show, so don't worry, I'm not diving in again. It's just funny seeing Newsweek finally catch up.
Thanks to our sponsor Spartan Armor Systems for making this video possible. Spartan Armor Systems is dedicated to providing the best American-made body armor in the industry for civilians, law enforcement, and the military. You can find out more at SpartanArmorSystems.com. Protect what's yours.
The state of Tennessee and the Firearms Policy Coalition have come to an agreement in Beeler versus Long, where the state concedes its law prohibiting 18 to 20-year-olds from carrying a firearm is indeed unconstitutional. That means the state will need to begin issuing carry permits for adults under 21, but it doesn't necessarily mean those same adults can begin to carry legally under Tennessee's permitless carry law. See, Tennessee used a really Rube Goldberg change to the law. Instead of just repealing their literally insane law prohibiting a person from, I shit you not, carrying any firearm with the intent to go armed, because why else would I? They simply added some exceptions to the law. One of those exceptions was the provision they be at least 21. So you'll need to find a lawyer to really unpack the details, but this might need more court cases to fully resolve. Good step though, any way you slice it. I recently told you about how Honolulu Police Department finally issued a carry permit, bless their hearts. Well, San Francisco hasn't approved or even denied one single application since the Bruin decision found their discriminatory practices explicitly unconstitutional. The official excuse? Incompetence.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
You heard that right. Both the San Francisco Police Department and San Francisco County Sheriff Department admitted they are simply incapable of processing a single application in more than half a year.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
I recently reported to you about the waves of creators getting channel strikes for old content, which violates YouTube's new policy prohibiting us from showing a silencer or scope or even magazine being installed. I told you about how one channel even got a channel strike for removing a silencer in an older video. Of course, their platform, their rules, right? As a good citizen of the YouTube community, though, I want to help them apply their rules equitably across the board. So if you see a clip posted to YouTube anywhere, whether it is from a legacy media outlet or a multi-million subscriber gaming channel, if it shows a magazine being inserted or removed, or a scope being attached, a gun being cleaned, or practically anything else, I want you to report it. Click on those three dots down in the bottom of the video on a browser, or the gear icon for the settings in the top right for mobile, then report for harmful or dangerous acts and select other from the dropdown. Now this part's important. Please include this exact phrasing, of course you can copy paste from the doobly-doo, and then indicate whether the scene instructs viewers on how to make a gun, or assemble or disassemble a gun, or install certain accessories. Basically, anything that can attach or detach from a gun is fair game, and the policy says nothing whatsoever about context, whether it be fictional or historical or educational or safety related. It is all verboten. Now, to be very clear, I'm not asking you to brigade against content you disagree with. I'm asking you to simply help YouTube equitably enforce their policies. Before we get to your moment of zen, I'd like to draw your attention to the dankest gun roast channel on the interwebs. Tundra Tactical skewers every sacred cow in the gun world. No matter how based or cringe your build is, these professional trolls will find a way to hurt your precious widow feelings. They drop a new crippler every Monday and Friday at 3 p.m. Central. And now for your moment of zen.
You like guns? Well, I hope so. Welcome to the wonderful world of firearms and firepower. It's also a lot of fun. Well, hello there. I'm just an ordinary businessman on his way to work with his little briefcase. You go on about your business, you see?
Hey friends, do you like pews and pew-related things? Do you want to help us keep delivering you pure, uncut American pew propaganda at the low, low price of $3.99? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors. So, do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.